Happy Labor Day, everyone. Buddha Gem here, wishing everyone a wonderful Labor Day weekend. It's a beautiful day here in New York City. And I wanted to do a bit of a book review, suggest some awesome books for your Labor Day reading. The first one I would like to suggest would be The Industrial Worker by Norman Ware, from 1840 to 1860. Few of us learned much about labor history in school. I think we could all agree on that. What little we did learn was usually taught to us in such a biased way that we really never got a real understanding of labor history, the struggles of the American worker, of what capitalism is really all about. And this book by Norman Ware is it's amazing. It's a wonderful read, and one of the amazing things about it is it's full of quotes from real working people, uninfluenced by Karl Marx or Bakunin or any left-wing intellectuals you might think of. These are just regular, everyday working people. These are quotes from the labor press, which was vibrant and active, working people writing about their struggles. And keep in mind that the labor movement, a lot of people think of the labor movement as just coming about to, it was about money, you know, they wanted to make more money. And it's really not the case, and this gives you a good glimpse into what the case was. It wasn't just about money. Of course, that played a significant role. It was also about a loss of dignity, a loss of status, a loss of freedom. Right off the bat, they understand that the wage system is no different than slavery. I'll give you a quote here. "We are slaves in the strictest sense of the word. For do we not have to toil from the rising of the sun to the going down of the same for our masters? Aye, masters, and for our daily bread." They realized that the wage system was, another form of slavery. Instead of being bought, you were rented. And if you didn't want to be rented, there were plenty of others who could take your place. What's great about this are the quotes from the press, just filled with them, and it's just amazing to see the struggles that the American worker went through. Here's a quote from an employer. "As for myself, I regard my work people just as I regard my machinery. As long as they can do my work for what I choose to pay them, I keep them, getting out of them all that I can. What they do or how they fare outside my walls, I don't know, nor do I consider it my business to know. They must look out for themselves as I do for myself." It's a wonderful book. If you want to get a glimpse into the real labor history of this country, I can't suggest a better book. Quickly, I'll move on to The Wobblies. The Story of the IWW and Syndicalism in the United States by Patrick Renshaw. The Wobblies, or the IWW, the International Workers of the World, were formed in 1905 by Lucy Parsons. Her husband had died or was murdered by the state of Illinois after the Haymarket Affair in 1886. It was a radical, Big Bill Haywood. It was a radical syndicalist union. It still exists today, working on organizing Starbucks workers and other service industries, truck workers, truck drivers. And this is a great history of the Wobblies and their struggle. For those who are quick to criticize unions because they see the unions that we have now, and there's much to criticize, unfortunately, most people don't realize that the unions, the business unions we have today, are only one form of union that have existed. And the Wobblies are a good example of an alternative to the type of unions we have today. So this is a great read. For those who, you're stuck, you think the unions we have today suck, and but you know that you're going to get screwed by the corporations. Great alternative, awesome history. Check it out. And last but not least, the book that's really enthralled me lately is Prison Memoirs of an Anarchist by Alexander Berkman. I did a brief video on the Homestead strike. Alexander Berkman was so enraged by the treatment of the Homestead strikers at the Carnegie Steel Mill that he took it upon himself to travel down to Homestead, and he attempted to assassinate Frick, the man who was running Andrew Carnegie Steel Mills and trying to crush the Amalgamated Association of Steelworkers. He did shoot him, stabbed him, was unsuccessful, was sentenced to 22 years in prison. I believe he served 14. And this memoir is it's just an awesome read. It's heartbreaking. The degradation, the oppression, the brutality of prison life. But it's as old as it is, it's still just as poignant today as it was when it was written, because today we stand in a country that incarcerates more people than any nation on earth, over 2 million Americans behind bars, and this is a good insight into the brutality of that system and what that leads to in a society that does those types of things. But it also gives you a good glimpse into the transformation of a radical anarchist who, at 21, 22, believed in propaganda by deed, in the need for violence to bring attention to the oppression of the workers. He and Emma Goldman did change their tune about the need for violence in the class struggle. And you can see this in his transformation through his 14 years of living in prison, most of that time spent in solitary confinement, where he struggled with thoughts of suicide. It's a heartbreaking read, but it's a very important one. Any of these three books would be great reading for Labor Day to get you in touch with your labor history, with your, developing your class consciousness and understanding what it is we're really up against. Because the fundamental issues that were at hand for the industrial worker, 1840 to 1860, they haven't changed a whole lot. I mean, the bottom line is your boss wants to get you to work as long and as hard as he can for as little as possible. That's fundamentally hasn't changed. The less he has to pay you, the more goes in his pocket. It's that simple. And it's when you realize that the depths that the capitalists went to keep us down, and the more apt you are maybe to get involved, get active, and start trying to change things. And and the first step would be organizing at your workplace. So hope you have a great Labor Day. I'll throw up some links. You can go check out these books. This book I would really recommend by and large, and I think I've seen it on Amazon as cheap as $3-4. So please check it out, and happy Labor Day.
The people united will never be defeated. The people united.